in Finland, we are kind of late in the scene. We are always late when it comes to marketing trends. We had a problem. We didn't go forward. If you're not doing it and others are, you're going to be excluded from that and you're not going to be visible.
And people forget really fast.
People just need to do the work. That's what it is. And that's why I started consulting.
When did you start with this? What's your story?
Well, I started as everything else but a metal singer, but 2017 kind of changed my life in a way that I decided to become a metal singer. And most of my friends were into metal, and I started to be into metal. I have always listened to kind of harder music than all the others around me. But this time it was this is my thing. And I think I heard Arch Enemy and Metallica for the first time in 2017, and I was mind blown.
Going from a metal musician, now you do the consulting. How did that happen?
Well, basically, it happened with the problem of marketing. So that's how I kind of got myself into the business side and into the marketing side. We had a problem. We didn't go forward, and we needed to be seen and to do it right. So to sell our gigs, for example, at the time I had this little band, and we were a part of Rock Academy, actually. And at that time, we had trouble getting gigs, and I started to become more and more interested in selling gigs and doing social media and all the things that you need to do in order to get your music heard. So that's how I got into it. And it became more and more interesting, and now I also study it. So it's been a journey. But basically it started with the problem that we are not seen, and we needed to be seen. Yeah. Somebody needed to do the work to get to know kind of how to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I do. I have some friends that are in bands, and when I always bring out this topic hey, somebody in your band needs to be a YouTuber or an Instagrammer or a TikToker or something. You totally need that.
Yeah.
But these guys are old school. They want to be discovered by how do you call them, a record label or something. But I think those days are long gone, half a century ago, And that makes me sometimes wonder, maybe the new thing to do is out of my sight, and also social media is already dying. What should I be doing to have people look at my band or my business or whatever, How do you see the scene in Finland, talking about bands and social media and all that? What's your perception?
I think in Finland, we are kind of late in the scene. We are always late when it comes to marketing trends and social media trends, because we are really awkward people in a way, and we do not want to share our faces everywhere. Or at least that is in my genre a very usual thing. And I think it's still a very important part of doing what we do. And we need to just accept that marketing and social media, being present and connecting with the fans and sharing what you do online is nowadays a part of the deal. So you cannot just make music and somebody spots you. It's not possible anymore.
Unless you are the best of the best at it, it's magic through the ears of people with money or whatever, and they pick you. But that doesn't happen.
I see the potential in Finnish music scene within the marketing aspect, but people just need to do the work. That's what it is, and that's why I started consulting. I help with that problem of seeing the potential and problem with taking out the camera and filming what you're doing. I try to help my clients with that. So yeah,
but it's pretty difficult. I mean, I am supposed to I should be good at doing it, but I just don't do it, maybe because I want to be perfect. I was talking to my girlfriend about this short film I'm working in. And the first thing you have to do as a filmmaker, maybe a musician or even a business owner, is identify who are you going to make this for? Who's going to watch it, right? Because of course I can't do it just for the sake of art and for myself, which is part of the recipe of making art, but not the most important if you want to live from it, right? So you have to think who you are going to make this movie for, and then start connected with that audience, become part of it. For example, the idea I came up with is like start telling horror stories. We Mexicans, we love horror stories with ghosts and serial killers and all that, So I remember I made a video about the lake bottom story, and I liked that short spot in a video I made, like when I tell this story. And I was like, I'm going to do exactly that. So people that like horror stories are going to start following. And when my short is ready, I have already an audience waiting for it, or not waiting for, but open to watch it. And I think with musicians would be the same. But I would recommend them not to make videos for other musicians, right? Not talking about their guitars, their gear and all that, because you are then making the video for the competition, if you want to see it that way. You should make it about emotions, emotional paths people are, like depression or anger or whatever, so that people come to you because they feel identified with those emotions. And you know what? I made this song about this. And then they are ready to listen to the song because they know what you're about. Well, that's the idea I have. What do you think about this?
I agree with you mostly. There's a certain amount of emotion that Finns are really ready to put into what they do. For example, my social media is really emotional in a way. I usually tell bluntly everything that is going on in my life. I make a list about what's going to be this week or what's going to be before December. That my last post was about that, what everything I'm going to be a part of before December. And that included like a caption where I said that we are going to release 2 songs with my band. And that's the first teaser. But my band isn't ready to be as visible in the like social media. So I have to kind of like make up for it. And that's why I do very much sharing on my social media when the guys don't. And I think the emotional side of it is the thing that attracts the fans. If you're only putting out your show, or if you're only marketing your shows, or hey, our album cover is this and we are releasing it on this day, that your base will not stick. So they are not following you because of you. They are following you to see the information. And if they are following you for you, they are loyal fans in a way.
Definitely.
That's how I see the whole scene in itself.
Sometimes I ask myself, why do I love these bands so much? And I don't give a fuck about these other bands, even though I like some songs and I have them in my playlist and I enjoy them and I would go to gigs, but I'm not a fan. It's not like I really need to have that shirt. I really know the names of every single people that's been there, no. And I think it has to do because I grew up when internet was just something to do homework with. And then you had like TV and all that. And I remember these shows about the bands that I like. And then you learn their story. When he was 6 years old, he lost his mother. And then, story, nothing to do with the music. And then his father told him to go there. And, they fought and he ran away from home and then went to another state and met the drummer, So it's more, you already kind of like the music, but then you learn that they had it hard to become who they are, And then millions and millions of pictures when they are screaming, crying, happy, angry, eating, in the bathroom with the girlfriend, with the ex-girlfriend, something like that. So lots of content that they put on TV, and that was the only thing that was entertaining back in the day, Now you have the chance to do the exact same, but it's a lot of fucking work, Like if you want to have like thousands of pictures of yourself so people get used to your face, you have to do it pretty much every day. And with me, the problem is that I am not that vain. I don't feel like, okay, I bought a hot dog. How do I look with a hot dog eating it? I don't know, but it has to be done, with businesses, with bands, with everything.
Yeah, there is a certain amount of work that's not going to be so fun, but you're going to have to do it in order to like be a part of the trend and be a part of the situation right now and be included in the scene. Because if you're not doing it and others are, you're going to be excluded from that and you're not going to be visible.
Yeah, and people forget really fast because if you're not present on their Instagram or whatever, then you're not there. If you publish something like after 2 months, it would be like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. Where has he been? Maybe go check it out. But if you don't publish anything, you're lost. And then the story you tell about yourself, or if someone else tells your story, that would be even better, Like, I know this metal singer from Uvasculine, and I make a video about you.
Yeah.
That's going to validate you because you are already big enough for me to put the work on making the research, the interview, and take the pictures and make the video and put it out, in my own channel, hoping that it's going to grow and all that thing, which is not what I'm trying to do now. This is about marketing. But I could definitely do it. And let me tell you, this is something I want to know. Have you ever considered trying to market your band in Latin America, for example, Japan, or some other part of the world? Like really try to look for those hashtags or titles for videos or something like that. Subtitles in Spanish. Now with ChatGPT, it's really easy to translate everything. Because I live in Finland because I'm a metal lover, or I was like before. Now I'm just trapped in the dad and worker situation. But I was drawn here because it was so attractive, so exotic, like we are brown, short, and we look this way. And then we have these blonde, tall people singing this aggressive music and they play like fucking virtuosos, like Alexi Laiho, for example. So now I really need to go there. And then I flew here and, all that story. And I think it happened to them because there was someone maybe in the record label that had the vision like, yeah, I'm going to market these guys in these countries and make them look like exotic. And it's biology, I think. Just because we are different, we are like magnetically attracted to them, I was discussing that with my friend Jukka like a long time ago. And because he's not, here in Finland, he's not the most attractive guy. But when he goes to Mexico, all the girls look at him, he's on the bus. And once we were buying tacos, and the owner, a woman like in her 50s, she was like, can I kiss you? Like on the cheek, of course, right? Yeah. And he was like, okay. And then she came here and boom, a little kiss on the cheek just because of the looks. Imagine that. So have you thought about that? Sorry, I'm talking too much.
I have actually thought about it and kind of like upping our game or one of my clients' game. Especially one of my consultation bands is going to release an album soon. So this is really timely subject to kind of like look for hashtags and stuff that will help them grow. On our side, of course, there is a saying in Finland that suutarilapsilla ei ole kenkiä.
Suutarilapsilla ei ole kenkiä. The kids of a soldier don't have shoes?
Yes.
And what does it mean?
So it means that the things that you are, or basically it means that the things that you do, for example, as a career, or if you are a car mechanic, your car will not be okay but your clients' cars will be okay.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
So it's not the same to do the work for yourself as it is for others. And that's basically the situation that I have with all my projects, like that are regarding me, especially. And because I'm the business person in our band, I'm gonna have to step out and kind of like put myself in an objective angle and look at my band as a client in a way, so that we could grow more than we have now. And when you mentioned reaching out to, for example, Japan, or, well, we have this opportunity now to contact Music Info, who is a business in Jyväskylä, or which is a business in Jyväskylä, and they are distributing from Europe to Asia and China especially. And that's one way we could go and reach other countries in a way without having to do all the work ourselves. But then again, it's free to do it ourselves. So DIY artists and the money. So that's the aspect, and for another time. So we don't have a budget, or none of my bands have a budget to actually like reach out to companies to make the work for them. So yeah, there is definitely something to consider there.
You should, definitely.
You think it would work?
No, of course, I'm very sure. How can I tell this without feeling embarrassed? So I have this channel on YouTube where I make covers. Maybe I mentioned it before. I take Mexican songs that I hate with all my heart and soul, and then I try to make them into metal covers. And I have lots of fun because it's just ridiculous, but then it starts sounding, and I come up with riffs better than the ones that I'm trying to make when I'm trying to be metal, right? And I have lots of fun. And I was thinking, imagine we make that cover of that song with her singing. You know, everybody's going to be like, who is she? Why is she speaking Spanish with that accent? You know, it's trying to sing, and then like, roar, that'd be just a hit. Believe me, that would be just a hit. Because I remember this one song that it's really old cumbia music, dun, 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 you know, and it got like 14,000 views like in a week. And I was like, oh my God, I'm onto something, you know, and people were commenting like, you should do this. You should be the Leo Moracchioli from Mexico or something like that. And I was like, okay, yeah. But then I didn't do anything, you know, parenthood and all that stuff. But yeah, so let's see. I'm going to propose something and then you see if you want to participate.
Okay.
But yeah, of course. Most Mexicans I know here that like music, they are here because they fell in love, most of them girls, with Alexi or the guys from Apocalyptica or the guys from him or Rasmus and all that, like 20 more older bands, you know, 20-year-old bands. More than 20 years. It's 2024, so it's like 24. Fucking hell. You know? Yeah, I was a kid. And yeah, of course, it would work. But you haven't thought about that.
Well, not like seriously. So there are thoughts here and there, and which one will I take on upon myself to actually do? That's not one of them yet. So,
but how do you see being a rock star? Do you like that idea?
I do like that idea. I wouldn't say it's the goal for me to become like a professional vocalist. But in a way, I do like the idea, and if it happens, then it happens. I'm gonna accept it. But it has to be in a way that I can also live my life here like the way I want. So I want to work as a music therapist one day, and I want to do all the things I'm doing right now with the smaller bands. So I want to focus on there, but if the success comes in a vocalist side of things, I am prepared to take it on. But
So the plan would be become very popular, economically, how would you say it, like productive, like make money,
sustainable,
like for a few years, 5, 10 years maybe, and then come back and retire and become all this, producer or whatever. That would be something cool. What does it take to become big? Well, in your case, knowing marketing is a huge advantage, especially if you are the vocalist. Then the obstacle you would have is what you said: do it for yourself. Make a case. Maybe do it as an alter ego. Like, okay, now I'm gonna jump into this marketer alter ego, and I'm gonna see this girl. Oh, Aso, she does this and that. Maybe she should do. Who was saying that? I listened to podcasts about this stuff, and this guy said that when it was Kobe Bryant, that he was watching a movie, Tarantino movie. I think it was Kill Bill. There's a character called Black Mamba.
Yeah.
So this Kobe Bryant decided that he was going to become a Black Mamba when he was playing. So he shifted every time he jumped into the court to play basketball. He was like, I'm not Kobe Bryant anymore. I'm the Black Mamba. And he remembers that it felt different. He was behaving different, more focused, just remembering that character from the movie. And I'm like, yeah, that's like you're programming yourself, like giving you an alter ego from Bruce Wayne to Batman, for example. They behave differently. So why I'm not doing it for myself, I wake up, I'm gonna be the dad, the friend, the boyfriend, but boom, now I'm gonna be the guy that wants to make money, and then I'm gonna start making the calls with that attitude and with that set, and then, okay, it's time to go to pick up my kid, boom, I go back to be the dad. Why I'm not doing that? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the core of it, basically. You're describing it pretty perfectly.
Yeah, it should, and we all should do that, You cannot be the same person all the time.
And there is work you, and there is the real you. And that's what I notice myself doing when I'm working as a bouncer or bartender. I am in my work mode. Do not come and talk to me as a friend then, because I will not be your friend. And many people have thought about, well, Aso is working there, so I can go there however I want. And I'm at the door and saying, nope, you're too drunk, get out.
Oh my God.
And they are like really surprised. And I don't know why, because I'm working, I have a job to do, so I'm doing it. But if I shifted that into doing music and the music side of all things that I do, I don't know how it would be. It would probably be easier, but right now it hasn't worked so far.
Maybe because the problem artists have, including me, is that it's something we love so much that it's part of who we are.
Yeah.
So, and then when you jump on stage, it's you. So all the fears, all the anxiety, all the doubts, all that, it's coming with you because it's you. But if you could learn to, okay, now I'm going to become this, and then you leave everything behind and you become the monsters we all love, Yeah. Some are or were lucky enough to be themselves, like the guys from Slayer, or Alex Ilaiho, that he was always the same guy, Well, I don't know, because the era that I like, he was always drunk. So that was the alter ego, the drunk guy. And but you should try it. And let me know if it works. And I'm sure it's going to work. But then you have to, I don't know, to see yourself as a character when you're on stage or rehearsing or whatever. Yeah, definitely. And I guess alcohol would help with that. Because I'm thinking about the bands that I like. And they were cool when they were drunk. And their characters were built. Their personas were built out of alcohol. And then when they stop drinking, that persona continues because they know how to do it, but the core, the flavor, to me at least, is missing, That's a good explanation. And then also age and testosterone and all that stuff that changes over time too. But going back to the marketing stuff and the consulting. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I started a little bit around 2018 with this one band, and I'm still working with them. And I started kind of like the AB music consulting officially in 2023, and my small business dates back to 2021. So
what's AB consulting? Is that what you said?
That's kind of like the consulting firm name that I have. So at the moment,
what's the meaning of AB?
It's my name.
Aso of course. How do you pronounce your name? Aso?
Aso Brännkärr.
Brännkärr.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't, to my Mexican brain, I have to learn it because of the letters you use. Brännkärr.
Brännkärr.
Bränn?
So, Bränn.
Brännkärr.
Kär. Yeah.
Brännkärr.
Yeah.
Yes, at least I'm recording myself saying it, so I'm just gonna replay it. But anyways, that's pretty cool. And how do you see the future? Is there a future, or are you having second thoughts, or did you figure out how to make it work already?
There is still a couple of things that I need to change and I need to evolve, but I do see a future in that, and the way that it has already worked, like step by step, I'm getting more and more gigs and stuff to do within that like industry. So I think there is a future there, and it's kind of doing something you love as well, making the music industry not a better place, but an easier place for artists that are starting or that have really trouble with all the social media and marketing and everything. And their music might be a killer. I mean, for example, this one band that I'm working with, they have absolutely killer songs, in my opinion. I am moshing when I'm going on their gigs, and I'm like, oh, cool. feeling it really well. And I like their music. I believe in them so much that I actually want to work with them in the future as well. And they have trouble with social media, which is why people don't know them at all. And we're trying with this album release that is coming in next year. We are trying to fix that together and see where it leads us. But yeah, I do see a future.
When you say trouble with social media, in the case of what's the name of the band?
I can't tell you.
Okay. That's part of the problem. No. Okay. Well, in the future, when you can tell it, I'm gonna post a link on this video so people can find out right away what we're talking about. So what's the problem they have? They just don't do anything? Maybe they have an account with a profile picture and that's it, or?
Yeah, so they are not comfortable and are not used to making like taking out their phone and filming themselves. And one of the problems is that the vocalist is also the bassist. So they don't have any free hands within their rehearsals. So it would have to be somebody else filming them, or they would have to put the tripod on somewhere and film themselves and kind of take the pictures and videos and anything, but not nothing. And the situation now is nothing. So they're not comfortable making the social media content, and they just need to get used to it. I'm gonna be the one with the whip and kind of like...
Definitely, if they want to make it... or what would be the other approach? Just make it so secretive and make that the marketing tool, you know? Like they are unknown. It's always someone from outside like trying to make them known, you know? But I don't know, I would have to imagine how would that work, because then...
I actually know a band that has that working for them. So there's a Finnish band called Ephemeral, I think, and they haven't done one gig live as far as I know. And their music is like in hundreds of thousands of streams. So they have the secrecy in there. And to my recollection, they have maybe 1 or 2 like promotion pictures that show the band members, but nothing personal at all. So that's an interesting case. I'm actually really interested to see what that band will do in the future.
If I was to start my career, like, hey, I'm a musician, I've been told that I have really nice voice, presence, I know how to do this, and people like me, and I like being on stage, but I haven't done anything on social media, maybe a couple of TikToks, and I want you to help me.
Okay.
Should I DM you on Instagram, on your socials, or do you have a web page with a contact form, or how does it work?
Yeah. So basically, I've done. When you Google my name, you will find me. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I have my own websites. They are not like licensed ones, so it's kind of hard to find. But I have my links and email or all available, so you can contact me anywhere you want. I will answer.
All right. What about bands from other countries?
Well,
let's say from Mexico.
From Mexico, if they use like email or they have found my social media there, that's an easy place to start. And I have my email there too.
I have a friend. She's a singer. She's been doing it for a long time. And she was asking me to help her get into festivals here. Would you be the right person to ask help or information from?
I have contacts that can help her get to festivals, yes.
The music she makes is she decided to mix this very specific kind of folkloric Mexican music that uses guitars and all that with electronic music. So I like it. It sounds very attractive, but it's a very specific kind of music, maybe in Flow Festival or something like that, that has nothing to do with metal, of course, or rock. But yeah, so I'm going to tell her to get in touch with you, and then we see what happens,
Yeah.
And then you'll let me know.
Yeah, of course, I am mostly focused on the metal genre and the scenes. But I do have a couple aces in my sleeve, considering other genres. So I think I could help her. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So I get in touch with you, and what you do? You go and scan their socials, what they have.
Yeah.
And how does it work? What do you do?
I listen to the music. I probably put their music and search them on analytics tools that we managers have. I'm not the manager officially, but I'm going to use the analytics tools, see where her audience could be, if she has any listeners here in Finland. And if she has not, I would create like 3 to 5 bands of a concept and see if there is any bands here in Finland that she could come and play with. So that would probably be the frame of it. And I'd scan the music, listen to it, scan what or analyze what they're doing on social media, and see what needs to be done, and if I'm myself ready to get involved with her kind of music.
Yeah, definitely. And in case of metal bands based in Helsinki, let's say, it would be easier because it's going to be in Finnish, same culture, and then just you would tell them what to do and how to start, I guess, right? And what would be like the best scenario for you on your job, on your work with a band? What would be the best?
I would like my band to get signed to a big label, or if they want to stay independent, that's completely fine with me if it works. So I'd love one of my client bands to become sustainable, like consistent, and learn from the consulting in a way that they could do all of these things by themselves. And then get the big shows, get the big streams, and kind of like create a sustainable and what's the word? Create a sustainable career and a real fan base. That would probably be the biggest goal and success for me as a consultant. Another thing is, of course, if the band's goal is at one point to get signed to a big label, that would be a success as well. But depending on what they choose in their career, of course, we are playing with that.
When you say signed by a big label, is it American or European or Finnish label? What would be big enough to be good?
Depends what they want. So if they want to stay in the metal scene, it would probably be Sony Music. So one of the big three record labels. But if they want to stay in the metal scene and if they want to stay in their subgenre, they would be probably at Nuclear Blast or some other like European, smaller but still big record label.
Okay. Nuclear Blast. I recently saw on Facebook this band Winter Sun.
Yeah.
Like, hey, our new album is out. Time 2, I think it's the name of that.
Yeah.
Do you like that band?
Yeah.
I was listening to it. I need to listen to it a couple more times. But then I went back to the old stuff and I was like, oh yeah, they were so cool with the long hair, and really depressing looks and the super fast riffs. Because I'm super old, so that was new when I was listening to it. But then they sound completely different. But is that what he was doing? Like, hey, I'm Jari from blah, 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 and now it's out now. Is that what you recommend to do? You produce that too? You go there with your camera, or you just tell them what to do?
Both. Depends. If we are looking at the band that is releasing the album, I would probably have to go there and kind of like take their hand and teach them how to do this in a proper way. And I'm not a filmmaker or a photographer myself, but I can teach the basics. Like, if you want to do this video, do these steps. And if you want to use Instagram as a platform, please use hashtags and put on these settings and stuff, like really, really basic stuff. But I would probably be the one telling them what to do at this point. And I hope that at some point they might be able to like plan all the releases themselves and figure out the way for them to do the thing themselves.
Yeah.
And their way, especially.
And I guess there is always one person that's more open to it and actually would even like it. Like
yeah.
The bassist or the drummer or something, I don't know. It should be the vocalist. Or I don't know, depending on the concept of the band. But yeah.
It usually is the vocalist.
Yeah.
If I've like understand the whole scene correctly, what I've seen, it usually is the vocalist that does everything regarding social media.
Yeah, it's always been like that. Of course, it has to be like that. I'm going to make a video for a band that is half Finns, half Mexicans. And I want to make it like the coolest thing ever. But the problem is that I asked them to start talking about it on their socials, taking pictures with me, talking about this Mexican director. So I also start building my own persona through their socials, And but they just don't do it. We made a podcast like a month ago. I'm going to start sending them the clips and all that stuff. And I hope they're going to start using them and publishing them, even if they don't like how they look or what they said or whatever. Anything should go. And then I ask them, what is the goal this video and this album? What do you expect from it? And I was a bit disappointed that I don't know. So it was like, oh, so you're just going to invest all this money, all this time, all this art, and throw it to the universe to see what's going to happen? It's like, no, let's make a plan. I haven't been discussing with them about these social media strategies, but I think I'm going to send them to you, you know, like, hey, you should definitely talk to this girl. She knows what she's talking about, you know, and she's also part of the metal community, if you could say that. And so I'm going to send towards you two, the metal guys and the singer from Mexico.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. Then I guess on your webpage, we can learn more about what you do, how you do it, and all that stuff. And also why you do it, because you do it because you like it.
Yeah. And I want to help in a way that I can. And I want to be a part of other, well, not other, but I want to be able to help people bring out their own story in a way. So, yeah. Helping is probably the most interesting part of it, but also the fact that I want to see which works and try different things for different artists and learn to be professional in what I do myself. Music scene and music industry and marketing in general, it's a learning process all the time. So you're never like really a pro, or you are a pro, but you're not like ready. You learn something new every day. So that's the interesting part of it.
Yeah.
I like it.
What else would I like to know about the marketing process and all that? So do you use the regular tools, Meta, Google?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you, in your price, because you already have, how does it work? It's like a subscription or packages, or how do you monetize this? Or
it's really flexible. So I've done packages and I've done like revenue percentages. So depends how big the artist is and what's the what's the word? Procrastination or on the success of the release. So it depends on those aspects, probably what pricing we are willing to do. And say we.
And I guess the bands that you really believe in are the ones that you go with percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. If they suck, you need to pay in advantage. If you're really good, give me the 10%, which is quite a lot. I'm just throwing it like that. Do you get involved in the creative side of it, or just the production?
Really rarely. If they need it, I will. But I prefer not to. So it stays as their thing. But if there's like a thing that I see that a band is doing that, hey, this could go in there, I will throw it out there and see what they think of it. But I really do not like to be involved in the creative side if it's an option to not be involved in it.
And talking about your band, you are totally involved in the creative side, right? But how deep is it? Like, of course, lyrics-wise?
Yeah.
The melody of the singing part, at least?
Mostly, yeah.
What about arranging of songs? Like, 2 verses and then the chorus and all that?
Nowadays, I'm more and more involved in it, especially with our new songs that we are making at the moment. We are writing them with our guitarist at my house. So I'm playing with him and we are throwing out ideas with 2 guitars, and I might sing a melody here and there. And we are basically doing those together. And when we go to rehearse with my band, like to band practice, we might just play around. The guys are throwing ideas out there and we might remember that we're going to use that in a song. So
cell phone out and record it, I guess. Yeah. And how does it work for you? It's first the riffs in the guitar and then the melody.
Yeah, first comes the riffs. It might be other way around, actually. Sometimes I have like a melody in my head, and I might sing it at first and then turn it into a guitar riff and then present it to our guitarist and say like, hey, is this okay? But our creative process, it's not consistent, so that needs work still. But we are getting more and more consistent with it, and we have a way and a routine now to work. So that's kind of nice. Joona has to, so our guitarist has to stare at my face a lot more than the others, but what can you do?
Oh, yeah. Because you meet more often.
Yeah.
So it's you and the guitar player, the main creative force in the band.
Well, our guitarist is basically the main force. I'm just trying to get more involved in it so that we can get more consistent.
And what about the least involved creatively? I guess the bass player, just copying what the guitarist is doing. Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I think our drummer and bassist do similar amount of work, and they do throw their own ideas into the demos that we make. So we are everyone is involved, but not in a way that we are getting together and having a mess because there are so many ideas. So that's why we do it in like kind of two pieces. So first is the demo from the guitar players, and then comes everyone involved. That's basically how it goes nowadays. Before it was, when I joined the band, the Obscured Within was like, it existed before me, but not in the name that it's in right now. But the guys did some music together, and I joined the band and did the vocals, and that's basically our first EP. So the newer songs are the songs that I'm getting more and more involved in, I think. And especially we are releasing those two. We're releasing 2 songs next month. Yeah, next month, I think. And
you were listening to them and you couldn't believe that because one of them was really challenging vocal wise. Something like that.
Fault. That's my own fault. So
you were pushing your limits or what?
Yeah.
I was drunk and I was just going for it.
Well, I'm not drunk. I drink maybe twice a year. But it was... the song itself was a demo. And then I listened to it and I tried to sing it in our previous rehearsal space. And then I was like, man, this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, why did I make lyrics like this? And here we are. We recorded it like it is.
Cool. And when you are coming up with lyrics, do you get inspired by some other singers, some books you read, some comments on Facebook or YouTube or whatever?
Yeah, I get inspired by stories, but also the lyrics are really relating into my life as well. But we have a couple of songs. One is about a Black Plague, and one is about 9/11, and we have songs like that. But
from the point of view of the terrorists.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Cool.
But mostly when I make lyrics, I do kind of mirror my own life into it in a subtle way. So I don't tell too much, but I tell a story that kind of relates into my own life, if it makes any sense. It's emotional.
Yeah, of course. It has to. It's the easiest way to create, I guess, and to find melodies, I think. Yeah. There are songs that I think the melody came first with passion and pain, and then they put words on them, and then they are really talented making them make sense, in the story of the song. But then the way they sing it, oh my God, it just pierces me. My skin goes like goosebumps, is that the word? And sometimes I cannot help it and I cry. And I have like 2 or 3 songs like that I don't listen to them just because of that reason. Just if I really feel like I need to find some kind of catharsis and let emotions go. But yeah, it's just crazy. And because I'm not an audiophile, but I pay attention on productions and sounds of very specific instruments and all that. So I much rather listen to the albums than the live versions, because they don't hit me the same. Because when I got to know that specific song, I was in love with the drum sounds and how the drummer used to play in that part of his life, and then the age of the singer gives a very specific tone to the voice, because when he was younger he was too high, and now that he's older he's kind of too low. But then when he recorded the song, it was just like perfect. And then the attitude in that era in his life, he wasn't as punk-ish as he was when he was young, not a grandpa that he's now. He was just a man, all those details come together with emotion, and then the way I understand the song, and fuck, it's super emotional. That's why I love music. And I'm so sad that maybe kids don't have the chance to fall in love not only with the song, but with the full album, the whole production. And I'm amazed on how every song, sound-wise, makes sense. It's like if they had recorded it like in the same day, because they make the instruments sound so similar, and the same personality and all that, even though they were recording it like here and there. To me, that requires like fucking talent, as an engineer and producer. Because even if I have the same brand of cameras, just the different positions make the colors look a little bit different. So then you have to tweak them to make it look the same. And I'm very visual, so I can get to figure out the colors and all that. But when it comes to sound, I can appreciate it, but I'm not very talented at reaching those. So all those details become emotional to me, And then when I listen to that song, it's like, oh my God, just perfect. How would you feel, or how will you feel when you find a fan that goes this deep into our art,
Oh boy, that's gonna be an incredible day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard, of course, because I'm a really self-critical and very perfectionist in a lot of things that I do, and I criticize myself a lot. And to kind of like, I haven't been at my best vocally when I recorded any of our songs so far.
Why is that?
I had some trouble with my lungs.
Oh.
So
in that very specific week, it has to happen, it's fucking hell.
Yeah, and so to hear someone go deeply, especially into one of those songs, because in the future these are going to be the songs that I look back on and see where I started and what I've become. So if somebody relates to those songs, the first ones, the same way that you're describing right now, it would be really emotional to me in a way, because those are kind of the songs that I'm weakest at. So it's that would be real.
Yeah.
And I would be mind blown. But
it's always half of what you put out. You as a musician, you put out this awesome music. Then the moment the people are listening to it and emotionally where they are, all that, it's different, because you are not there with them in that situation, but you are making them feel something because of the situation. It's just weird. It's art,
Yeah.
It's supposed to do that. And they might understand the song in a completely different way that you felt and thought about it, which is it's great, Now maybe you would be curious about what's their take on your song, and then you rediscover your art, maybe, like, oh my God, I never thought it that way. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And be ready for that. I'm sure it's going to happen. Maybe you're not going to have like thousands and thousands of fans like that, but maybe just one. I'm sure you will. Yeah.
And I actually have a couple, like, we have this one young fan who came to our gig and gave us a drawing of our band. And that was cool. They had like combined all our EP covers into one cover art, or not cover art, but like into one drawing. So that was cool to kind of like get that on a gig.
Of course, because it requires time and effort and talent and purpose, and love. Like, I really love this, so I'm going to put it together in this collage. Yeah, of course. And use his talent drawing. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
And then I have a couple that are still messaging me on Instagram and other. I try to like answer everyone that sends me a message. And I have these couple men that are really interested in my vocals specifically. And they've come to our gigs and kind of like wanted to take pictures or autographs or whatever. And that's cool too. That's a really weird feeling, as we are a small band. If you put our numbers into analytics tools, we are a really small band. So it's really interesting to see that is something like that is already happening, even though we are kind of like a nobody at the moment. So that's real fans, and it's great to be able to achieve that in kind of like in the early career, if I should say that. But yeah, it's hard to explain the feeling that you get from that.
I wonder if you could get used to that. I think that camera is going to die.
Yeah.
This one will die soon. So, oh my God, what should I do? Well, don't waste the time saying this, right? So, we are going to leave all your contacts info in the description of this video, in all the places it's going to be. And I remember I saw that there is a web page, I don't know who makes it, with Metal Archive or something like that, and there's a profile. Do you know who makes that? No? And do you have a Wikipedia page already?
No.
No, not yet. So if they Google your name, they're going to find everything they need to know about you.
Yeah.
And do you have I think you do have a YouTube channel, right? Yeah. Vlogging mostly.
Yeah, but I haven't like posted a lot in there at all. I plan to make more, but then I hide behind the fact that I'm tired and I need to go to work during the night and I have to study during the day, and I just don't do it. I need to fix that. I'm going to fix that soon, hopefully.
So for everybody that it's in Jyväskylä and feels like having a beer, they should go to Hemingway's, but don't talk to her. She's working. You have to wait till she's not working, then you can talk to her. Because my plan was like, one day I'm going to go there and say hi, but I can say hi.
Yeah, you can go.
Hello, I'm going to have some beers. Throw me out when I'm too drunk. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Especially because I do like beer.
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And I hope we are going to meet again. And so, just to I know, you're going to release 2 songs.
Yeah.
Do you know the dates already?
Yeah.
Yes. Can we know them?
No.
No. Okay.
In a week or 2. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm going to be checking you out on the socials just for that. Okay, and if you're watching this and the songs are out, they're going to be in the description. Thank you very much, Aso. And
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you too.
Yay. That was harder than I expected.
Why?
I don't know.